Listen, if you're the person that needs to completely reset, refresh, you had a bad day, your week was ruined, you got completely thrown off, then this is the video for you. I'm gonna show you easy ways to completely reset your day, your week, your month, maybe for the start of the year. Keep watching this video. I'm gonna tell you how to do it. So, the very first thing I want you to do when you really need to have a reset and completely start over with your day or your year or whatever it is remove something from your plate. That is step one. We have to take something off of our to-do list, maybe a couple of things, before we can even begin to figure out like where we're gonna find balance. We immediately need to remove something that is overwhelming us, stressing us, or just causing us to feel very out of whack. One of the main reasons I say this, and this particular step is very imperative to being able to reset and feel refreshed in the first place, because you can't expect something new and different or expect a change to happen if you're doing exactly the same thing. So we immediately have to make a change. And usually the easiest way to do that is to just cut something from your list. The easiest way I can tell you to take something off your plate is to think about all the things you have to do and think about removing something that you feel like you have to do, but you don't. So this takes like a lot of honesty and like self-reflection. There's a lot of things on our to-do list that feel like, oh my God, but I have to do all of it. I have to do everything. But if you're honest with yourself, this is something that someone else has asked you to do that you could have said no to. This is something that you said, yeah, I have time, when maybe you don't. Or this is something that maybe you don't have to do today or this week, but you've been trying to push yourself to do. So there's a few other ways to try to figure it out, but hopefully you get what I mean. Like, think, be very honest with yourself. I'm looking at you. Be very honest with yourself about, do I have to do this thing? And if the answer is probably not, take it off the list. Take it off the list. Take it off the list. So just be honest. Tell your mom, I love you, girl, but I cannot take you to your doctor's appointment this week. I can call you an Uber though, but I cannot physically drive you there. Take something off the list. You following me? You're following me. I don't know if you've heard of that phrase. We use it a lot in counseling and in the therapy space, accentuate the positive. What I mean by that is, when you think about the negative stuff, it's really, really easy, right? Like, it's super easy to come up with your worst case scenario or think about all the bad things that could possibly happen in this situation. Our brains do that naturally. It can be a lot of effort to focus on the positive, but that's what it takes to be able to completely refresh your focus, your attention, reset your thoughts. I tell clients all the time that just because the negative is happening, and while the negative is happening even, doesn't mean that the positive stuff doesn't exist. Doesn't mean that the other things occurring aren't very real and good. Two things can be true at the same time. Something bad can be going on and you can still have positive things in your life. And that's one of the big ways to help you refresh, is remembering both these things can happen at the same time. And I'm not talking about like that toxic positivity type of stuff. Like, just be positive, just think positive. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for real, good things are also happening while the bad things are happening as well, right? I mean, literally. Here's my tip on how to do that. I suggest you deliberately focus on what is good in your world. What's good in your life, what's good about yourself, or whatever makes sense for you, but deliberately focus on the good. Or maybe even deliberately focusing on events or activities that give you a lot of pleasure and bring you a lot of joy. So maybe it's not just the good that's going on around you, but it's the good in the things that you enjoy doing, like playing your music or going outside for a hike, or those kinds of things that bring you joy. Focusing on those good things. And what I want you to do is take time with those things. Take your time and spend time with those things, either doing them more often, or if they are just things that are happening in your life, saying it to yourself, reciting them, reminding yourself that good things are occurring. So you could also write these things down and in a gratitude journal, or just make a habit of saying them out loud to yourself and saying them out loud to people that you know, to your friends, to your family. So if you have been living in a really affordable place and, you know, that's really the only good thing you can think of that's going for you right now, just remember, $500 rent. I got all this shit going on, but I'm only paying $500 rent right now. Something like that. You get what I'm saying? Doing this accentuating the positive can bring a lot more balance to your life when you're tipped over and like this, like, oh my God, everything's going so negative. We're trying to reset. We're trying to come back to center, come back to balance, and remembering the positive can help you balance that out quite literally. So the third thing I want you to do to have a refresh is to start moving. And this one's probably the most obvious, right? Like everybody knows that they need to exercise and we need to move our bodies and stuff like that, get the endorphins to feel good. But this is a game changer when it comes to finding your balance and resetting, because working out, moving your body, even just walking, clears your mind. It allows for a lot of mental clarity so you can think through the things that you have planned or are on your very long to-do list, or whatever the case. It gives you just a lot more clarity of mind to make decisions, to not waffle, to not get that analysis paralysis, or not be so overwhelmed, because you can think through things a lot more clearly when you're moving. Moving can also help you get out of the brain fog. It helps you focus more. All of that happens, really helps clear your head in that way. The other thing that movement is good for is just digestion, heaviness that you feel, you know, and gassy and all that stuff. If you're moving a little bit, it does help, especially if you were drinking kind of brazy the last couple days, or whatever your reason is for needing a reset, or your eating was just like out of hand. Getting yourself back to moving, even just gentle movement, can really help change the game and give you that boost that you need when it comes to the reset. And then the other thing that moving does is enhances your mood. Moving will help you be in a lot better mood, less irritable, less down or sad or feeling empty. Moving helps bring up those endorphins, so you can just start to feel a lot better emotionally, to be able to move through your day and move through your week a little bit lighter, a little bit easier. And then lastly, moving gives you more energy. Working out gives you energy. Hello. That's one of the biggest things that can happen, other than your focus, your clarity of mind, your digestion, your mood. You get an energy boost. So all of that put together is a supercharged reason to just get out there and get your body going. The next thing that I think is extremely important if you want to reset is implementing a nighttime or morning routine, not both. I think you should start with a simple morning routine or night routine. If you're new to the wellness and like self-care space, I definitely suggest choosing one or the other and not doing both. I suggest doing whichever side of the day you find most difficult. Like if you're not a morning person, or you would describe yourself as not a morning person, or if you would describe yourself as like a night owl and I can never get to sleep, whichever one is the hardest for you, that's where you should place the routine. I need a morning routine. Give me a thumbs up on this video if you want to see a full nighttime routine or a full morning routine, or both. Here's how you do it simply and easily, so it's really, really effective. You want 3 steps. I'll give you 3 to 5, but you want 3 easy steps, and I would shoot for sensory activities that trigger your sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell. Here's what it could look like if you did it as a nighttime routine. So let's say before you go to bed, you make some tea. Maybe it's a chamomile tea or something like that. So you have like that taste. Rub some lavender lotion on your hands and spray your pillows down. Now we have that sense of smell going on with the lavender. And then lastly, turn on some ocean sounds. And then there's your hearing aspect. So we just chose a few basically. We're tucking in, getting cozy and going to bed, right? What this will do is allow your brain to start making some associations. You know how like when you hear a song and the first 3 seconds of the song gets you turned up, you know, like our parents, that's sensory. Or when you smell something and you immediately get taken back to like your grandmother's house and like you remember the exact day and the exact time and like the exact series of events that happened when you smelled that smell as a kid. Senses. So your sensory organs are so powerful. If you do that routine several times, let's say you do it for 3 weeks straight, every night you make your tea, you rub your lavender lotion and you turn on you turn on ocean sounds, like you'll be out in the streets and you'll smell some lavender somewhere and you'll be like, ooh, wee. Oh, getting sleepy. I'm tired. Are y'all tired? I'm so exhausted. That's how powerful it is. So get you a morning routine or a night routine. That was just an example. Apply it in your context. But I definitely encourage you for the 3 to 5 steps that you choose, make them all sensory. Change the game. Come back to me later. Drop a comment on this video when you try it and tell me it's not a game changer. I will wait for you. The next tip I have for you, and this one is very near and dear and close to my heart, is for you to ditch perfectionism and trade it in for creativity. This one is a big deal. And in a practical sense, it's a big deal because sometimes I think we think that things always have to be done a certain way. And I think we get stuck on this is the way we do it. This is the way it's always been done. So this is the way it has to be done. And just because that's the only way you've done it or the first way you thought to do it just doesn't mean that's the only option. And I think we just get stuck in this like pattern sometimes that like it must be this way and this is the right way. And I think you'll learn as we get to know each other here on this channel that creativity to me is like the unsung hero of mental health. And I think if we empower our creativity and like gain more and more access to our creativity, we will see that this is not the case. The game's not real and the rules are made up. So 90% of the time, there's no right way to do something. So if you can practice getting yourself out of that, but it must be perfect, it must be just right. Like if you can get yourself out of that, you're gonna have less and less bad weeks. It's going to be so easy for you to start your 2023 or start your year or whatever and know all the things that you want to try and not put all this pressure on yourself that it has to be just right or, you know, in any endeavor that you have. So I won't get on my soapbox anymore about it, and I'll tell you how to do it, but just know that like your creativity will help you fucking murder perfectionism. I'm telling you. So in that vein of not feeling like we have to do something a certain way or the exact right way, I encourage you to try doing things in a way that you haven't tried before or that maybe you haven't done in a long time. And to try to think of it as an experiment. Like we're just gonna try it. I'm not gonna put pressure on myself that I have to get it done this way or have to get it done a certain way. I'm just gonna try this. Experiment. It basically turns into the difference between telling yourself that I have to meditate once a day, every day, without fail. That's perfectionism. And it turns it into, I wonder what it would be like to try to meditate outside sometimes versus inside. That could be interesting. How many different places can I meditate this week? So instead of saying every single day, how many places can I meditate? Maybe I try my room, maybe I try the backyard, maybe I try it at the park. Now we're getting creative. Your creativity is going to help you become a better problem solver. It helps you in like different things kind of get in your way and stuff. Your creativity is going to help you get out of it without feeling so stressed, without feeling so overwhelmed. And it's just going to help you come up with more new and interesting things to try and new and interesting things to do and get you off the hamster wheel and not excited about your goals, you know? Like your creativity can do that. And the good thing is that creativity can be built. Creativity that, like, some people feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not creative. I don't do anything. I don't draw. I don't paint. I don't do anything. Like, you don't have to have like a specific skill to be creative. You can build that. For more tips and wellness content like this, please subscribe to this channel. And if you like this video and you felt like it helped you, please give it a thumbs up, like it if you liked it. And that way I'll know you want to see more videos like this. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you soon.